Um, Welcome to our live session today. We are running a series of Foundation of Personal Success. And from last couple of weeks, we are discussing core values, which is responsible for any individual for achieving the success in the life. And in the core values, today we will discuss specifically a very important core value, which is called humility. And what this humility means and how we can understand it on a basic level and in somehow on advanced level. So we will try to learn this as well, and how leaders uh, are so feeling humility in themselves when they are achieving their goals, when they are fulfilling their mission, um, and doing the daily activities by maintaining the self-discipline. So how this uh, virtue of humility will help them to do all these things. So this is definitely a vital value for uh, leadership authority on a personal level. So um, obviously, it's not like there have many books written on this subject. Uh, it is a subjective topic or understanding with the term. So I'm trying to make a paradigm that what do you mean by humility in your mind and how you need to perceive it actually. So um, I will be happy if you will participate any discussion. Um, and if the discussion will go further, that will help to understand for many of people us who is watching it and who are watching as a recorded video as well. So let me go through um, from in details, and I need to announce that we hold these sessions every Sunday, 8 p.m. British Standard Time on Zoom, and every week we discuss a different topic. You can also join us on Google Classroom, and these are the details. You can write to us on this email address as well. So you, there is a little request to respect the privacy of others, and please mute all your mics all the time. If you have any question, please you can request me. I will unmute your mic. Your mics will remain mute due to the security reason, and if anybody wants to unmute the mic, please you can request me by a text message, or I think if you have registered it, you should be able to unmute yourself. So this session is for everyone who is a truth seeker, who wants to change their life forever, who wants to make the difference, who wants to change the direction of their life. So let's begin with the session. Um, this is a quick reminder. We are exploring these 230 personal core values. We also call personal traits. These are moral or ethical values of every individual or every professional person. They observe one of these. So actually 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 of these values, every individual can exercise it in the personal life. However, um, some people have a great degree of using these values, and some people actually they are using these values, but they don't know what they are actually mean. So that's why you need to understand deliberately, consciously, that what the value you are exercising. So uh, I can send you these list of 230 personal core values as well. So, and there is a difference between skills and the values. So I'm not here giving you training in specific skill, but I'm trying to explore the basic and advanced understanding of the skill, of the core values. And today's our value is humility. So it's a very famous quote from the Chinese that be like the bamboo, the higher you grow, the deeper you bow. Uh, Anybody knows about what is the significance of bamboo tree? We know that bamboo trees are in hilly areas in Central Asian countries. They are quite remarkably present there. But the significance of bamboo tree is that it takes ages in the ground when we plow it, when we put the seeds to grow the bamboo tree. But for example, I think it takes 3 months to come out from the surface uh, to convert into the plant and the tree. But when it becomes a tree, it become tree within few days. It is the most fastest growing tree in the world, the bamboo tree, and uh, why it is helping for today's topic, because of the roots. So bamboos takes the roots, takes the time to get it root under the ground. Um, it takes like a couple of weeks or months, like I said earlier, but when it start to come out from the earth, from the ground, then it takes only few days to go up till 80 feet height as well. So basically, the humility is the root of your life, of your success. If you want to grow your success, the personal success, then you have to put the seeds of humility in your life, and that's how you will be growing much more faster than other people as well. So let's try to learn about meaning of humility. I have just taken some screenshot of from the dictionary. Obviously, I'm not English teacher or I'm professor in language, but on a basic level, we need to understand what the meaning of it, and from meaning, we will take it to the advanced level as well. So basically, human humility is the absence of any feelings of being better than others. That's a Merriam-Webster dictionary. It's a very popular dictionary, and they have deep meaning of every word we search for. So many people in our world takes the humility as a weakness, as a powerless person. However, uh, other way around is a true. Humility grounded people are much more courageous than the other people, and I will tell you how it will in the next couple of slides. Humility also have a very similar meaning: down to earth, humble, lowliness, meekness, modest person. There are also some people also say that they are passive people, but that's not correct. Um, they remain quiet as well. Yes, they do quiet as well, but that is not their weakness. That is their sharpness as well. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Antinomy for the humility, the opposite word for them is aggressiveness, assertiveness, attitude, arrogance, pride, um, self confident, very self confident, overconfident actually is the right word. Also, uh, there are so many other words we can use it as an opposite of that. Um, the most common superiority is a pride, uh, hauteur, ego, or egoistic or egoism. They all opposite of humility or arrogance. Um, Cambridge Dictionary is describing the definition of humility, the quality of not being proud because you are aware of your bad qualities. Well, that is a one dimension of of humility when you know about your bad qualities. And um, Obviously, a man is a combination of many strengths and somehow weaknesses as well. But if the person knows that he or she has some weaknesses or maybe some major flaws in the character or in the personality, then um, the demand of being a humility person, you have to be humble and down to earth because you know that uh, you have some weaknesses. But actually, it's not true in my eye. Being a humble person does not mean that you may have a bad quality. Actually, opposite is true, in my personal opinion. I see many great people in my current life or in the previous generation people or from the past ancestral or forefathers or the great stories we learn that more you are great, the more you become humble, more you have immense great qualities, the more you become humble. So, for example, if somebody is very rich, obviously he or she will have a very soft heart against other poor people. Um, Whereas in our contemporary world, we see some other opposite behavior. Many people who are maybe beautiful by physically, they are enough rich, or they are well educated or intelligent by brain. They may mock other people. They become arrogant in many situations. They may break other people's heart, maybe on a personal level, break heart or become harsh with the spouses, with children, maybe with colleagues in office, maybe in a social, uh, um, in socially they are poor in building relationship, and they do actually because they do not exercise humility. um, However, the people who are spiritually enlightened or they are very well awakened, they do have multiple characteristics. And in spite of these characteristics or physical possessions or materialistic possession or formal authority, they still exercise humility. Uh, there are many philosophers in our history, many prophets, and many great personality. economists or revolutionary leaders. They all were very humility based nature, and they uh, they were actually mocked by many other people because they other people perceive their humility as a character weakness, whereas the other thing is true, like I said. So how it is true, we let's explore a little bit. I found this stuff from online, and I thought I should share with you that the people who feel pride, they focuses on other failures. They are self-righteous, overly critical, and fault-finding in others. Looks at their life through a telescope, but others with a microscope. Looks down on those who are not as spiritual or committed as they are. Pride people are the people who are very feeling proud. They think that they know who is truly proud and truly humble. So that is another form of um, pride. Thinks everyone is privileged to have them involved. For example, maybe if you are man and you are, I'm proud to be a man. I'm a proud to be American or Britisher or Australian or um, Asian or African or so these labels we start to be have all prides, and these all leads to us our identity. If we are really feel proud, these are opposite of humility. Um, Humility is something which even you are uh, have well grounded ranks or labels or identities, still you will feel that you do not own them or you don't deserve to own them because of weaknesses inside you, because the demand of these things inside me, I cannot become enough good Jew or good Muslim or good Christian or good Buddhist or good American or um, good Britisher or etc. So that's the feeling of humility the person can have, and that will lead to become a real true leader. So let's find that what the other way around, what the humility is telling you. uh, Humility realize that how far they fall short and have overwhelming sense of their need to grow. They are compassionate and they are always forgiving, looks for the best in others. They seek to win people, not the arguments. Down to earth people realize only God knows a person's true motives. Yeah, obviously, even if you don't believe on God, still you know that um, how you were created, or if you are designed, um, that's somehow supernatural power. They know your entirely true motives. Um, it also leaves the judgment of the heart in the God's hand. Thinks they don't deserve the opportunity that God gives them. Why there are some God words are here? Because there are reason. Because the humility is exercising nowadays in many religious circles around the world. Um, if somebody is a committed Christian or a committed Jew or a Hindu or a Muslim or a Sikh or any religion, they often use and tend to practice this very core value of humility. Um, that's why, if you search about humility, you will find lot of words of humility in a religious context, especially from the prophets context as well. The people who believe on prophets, they think that their prophets were very humble and they were a role model to practice the humility. For example, Jesus, for example, Prophet Muhammad, uh, and the prophet Buddha as well. Or there are many people who uh, believe on many great persons in the world. They all have this common mega core value of humility. Um, and even in this world, around you, all great people they have. Now let's think about further. This is the picture I took. Some of you already know. I often quote this image. Is about the core values and how the core values govern govern the other values, and the humility is on the top. D- to have a feeling down to earth. Uh, Demands you that this world is governed by natural principles, and no matter I will get power, no matter I will get money or status or something, I still have to be humble, because all these things are also under the principles of natural laws as well. So I have to be humble. I have to feel that I'm nothing. I have to feel that I still need to get highest quality in that thing. For example, if you are a dad and you love your child so much, um, and you have given your child very good education, good training, good uh, vision of the life, and a great character you have built, you should not proud of this. The humility demands you should feel down to earth, and you still can say or feel or should have a feeling, oh, I tried my child to become best, but still I didn't do. Uh, no, I'm not happy. Um, I know there are still lackness from my side. Still, there are so many things to do. So these type of feelings make you are down to earth. The same thing, if even if you got the money or you become millionaire, and you still have the heart of like a poor person, because you can feel the pain in a poor person. So the humility has a tremendous potential to have a feeling of others in the spirit of empathy. And that's why Dr. Stephen Covey is called the humility is a mother of all virtues, because every virtue or good deeds, great acts, maybe in a religious context or secular context, you say, all are start from the humility nature. If you see yourself, then you will have these feelings. And from humility, with combined with courage. Um, I will discuss courage in specifically next week, but today I'm focusing only on humility. So humility, when it combined with courage, it builds the integrity within the person, and from integrity you create children wisdom, and abundance, especially the abundance mentality. So, without humility, you cannot feel on abundance, or you cannot be wise person enough. Yeah. And the other way around, if you do not have humility, but you will be occupied by arrogance, and arrogance is a nature um, of ego, you know. So that's why it is very very important that if we not work or strive ourselves towards being down to earth person, then the other we will inviting the other thing, which is arrogance, pride, egoistic. These will come in my life, and I will feel only pain or suffering, because arrogance, ego, um, the, these all will deceive yourself uh, in order to was going to uh, a true path of the success. And I will discuss it further in next week, when I will be discussing courage, and then we will have some example which will give us more clarity. Uh, so um, this is a quote which I found as useful. Humility creates more oxygen in the room. It allows for other to participate and come together and make a change. Um, so this is a just a illustration. These are the just a pebble, but when these pebble come together and participate, then you can make change. It's a great, great stuff. Right. So now it's a reading time. I took some of the readings from um, two books. One book from Dr. Stephen R. Covey, obviously for many reasons. That book called The Eighth Habit: From Effectiveness to the Greatness, which was published in 2003. It is one of the legend book, and specifically address on the topics of leadership development in a great way. And I will let you know about what the Dr. Stephen is saying about humility in that book. The other book I have chosen from his son, Dr. Stephen's son, is called, his name is Stephen M.R. Covey, and he is also a great guy. His book name is The Speed of Trust. Is a marvelous book. In that book, he discuss about lot of core values in very details, uh, and that helped the leaders to become millionaire and to a great contribution in the society. But that all contribution and the external success is only the outcome in the personal success. So my actually purpose of this series, that until you are not personally enriched, personally growth person, personally a great person, uh, or Dr. Stevens say, until you don't have a private victory, then you cannot get the public victory. So that's why we are trying to learn how to be down to earth, or what the really meaning of down to earth, being humility. So the speed of trust, Dr. Stephen M.R. Covey, what he says, if somebody wants to read, I'm happy if you can read. Yeah, if somebody wants to read, I'm going to unmute. Anybody can read, or otherwise I will read.
I'll read, Meritib.
Yeah, please go ahead, Jenny.
Okay. Humility. Integrity also includes humility. In doing the research for good to great, Renowned business expert Jim Collins examined good companies that were transformed into great companies to discover the reason for their extraordinary success. Two things he found surprised him. The first was that despite his desire to ignore the executives in his research, the data strongly demonstrated that leadership mattered a great deal. As Collins observed, all the good to great companies had level 5 leadership at the time of transition.
Yeah, and these level five leadership qualities have been discussed in another book by Dr. Stephen Covey. And one of the great value is to have humility. Let's continue to the next page.
Does someone else want to read besides me?
Uh, let's try to invite Florence.
Yeah.
Hi, Florence. You can hear us? Okay, no problem. Hi, Romeo. You can read it for us. That's okay. Jenny, you go ahead, please.
Sure. Okay. So, how does humility manifest itself in leadership and in life? A humble person is more concerned about what is right than about being right, about acting on good ideas than having the ideas, about embracing new truth than defending outdated position, about building the team than exalting itself, about recognizing contribution than being recognized for making it. Being
Yeah.
humble does not mean being weak, reticent, or self effacing. It means recognizing principle and putting it ahead of itself. It means standing firmly for principle even in the face of opposition. Humble people can negotiate intensely. They can drive hard bargains. They can express themselves firmly and clearly in intense situations in close personal relationships. But they do not get caught up in arrogance, bravado, manipulation, or win lose power plays. They recognize that there are timeless principles that govern in organizations and relationships, and they try to act in alignment with those principles. They do not seek to become a law unto themselves. Humble people also realize clearly that they do not stand alone, but rather on the shoulders of those who have gone before, and that they move upward only with the help of others. As Alcoholics Anonymous and other recovery programs are quick to point out, the foundation of dealing with some of our most difficult life challenges is the wisdom and humility to accept the fact that there are some things we simply cannot do or cannot do without help beyond ourselves. The opposite of humility is arrogance and pride. It's putting ego first above principles and above others.
Thank you. So that's a great paragraph, a couple of paragraphs from the book on the topic of let me, Florence has come out. Let me see. Yeah, he's joining. So yeah, that's a great. There are many things we have learned. The first line is amazing. A humble person is more concerned about what is right and then being right. Nowadays, I know many people when they speak assertively with lot of force behind the shout or in emails even, they to say that they are right, yeah, uh, but they don't know what is right because, and you can feel that it's a voice of arrogance you are hearing or you are reading from someone. Um, so because the humble or person who is feeling down to earth is always concerned what is right, because he does not need any show from personal side. He or she does not know, does not want other to praise him or her. So that's why uh, the humility is a mother of all virtues. The same he is saying that about acting on good ideas, then having the ideas. Yeah. So if in my team, if some team fellow or my colleague have a great idea, so I will act on this immediately, rather than I will not follow that idea because it was not my idea. That's not humble people does. They have a other approach. The same thing is saying about embracing new truth than defending outdated positions. Is a number one reason of humility. They embracing always new truth, because humble person does not claim that he or she knows ultimate truth. And if something comes or pop-ups in the life in any form, he or she immediately admits and make it become their uh, a part of their life. It's amazing, isn't it? Also, the building the team, then exalting self, about recognizing contribution, and then being recognized for making. I know many people when I was doing a job before my current business. And in my business, my many colleagues, they try to take credit of everything. Even if they are not doing, they want to just recognize by their manager so that they get more good grading, and that will increase their income as well when they will have an annual appraisal in our organization. Just they were doing for getting some good increase in salary. That's they want being recognized for their professional work. So it means that they were not humble, and they do not have humility. The humility based person are those who are like a trim tab. If you know about the trim tab, Dr. Stevens have described very well a separate chapter of trim tab. Trim tab is a very tiny piece of a big mega ship or cruise, which moves, which gives the direction to the cruise within the ocean. And that small trim tab you cannot become in your life, or in an organization where you are working, until you don't have humility. So that's why it is so powerful. Uh, so because they don't need to be recognized. However, they recognize other people's contribution and become the part of team. I know many teams uh, in football, in hockey, in basketball, in cricket. There are so many great players in the teams, but they don't want to become captain. You know, they don't want to become leader of the team because of their humility. Probably they have the feeling that one, two, three. Number one, they do not deserve to be captain. Maybe they have weaknesses and they don't want to become captain because they are still incomplete. Number two, they think that if they become captain, they cannot justify with other players. Maybe uh, so that is also being a down to earth nature. And number three, by nature, they want to become just a player, a team player, not, not become a captain. So this is a marvelous type of feeling of a person who is down to earth. Uh, However, the opposite, if you see, we are all the time in our life, in our ego issues, in our broken relationship, jealousy, hatred, anger, leg pulling, you know, these are all parts and parcel things in our not only family life, but also in professional life. because of our poor core values structure we do have, isn't it? So that's why the humility is so important. Let's in we are just in the last few minutes. Dr. Stephen is saying in his book, The Eighth Habit, and he is saying about humility. A small paragraph, I can read it. Let me clear it. Yeah. So he's saying, okay, Florence. Um, he is saying in the book, another way of putting this would be that wisdom is the child of integrity, being integrated around principle. So one thing is very important, that the person who have a integrity or the wisdom, they will be integrated by natural principles, the principle of law of harvest, the principle of success, the principle of abundance, the principle of truth, or there are so many natural principles. Um, and integrity is the child of humility and courage. In fact, you could say that humility is the mother of all virtues, because humility acknowledges that there are natural laws or principles that govern the universe, the all affairs on matter in the universe. You know, everything is operating within some laws and principle, and that humility based person, he or she knows why or she should be. So they are in charge. We are not. I mean, he means that principles are in charge. We as a human are not in charge of our life. Pride teaches us that we are in charge. See, the humility teaches us to understand and live by principle, because they ultimately govern the consequences of our actions. If humility is the mother, the courage is the father of wisdom, because to truly live by these principles, when they are, oh sorry, when they are, I think is missing, uh, to social mores, norms, and values takes enormous courage. See, so these are repeatedly things, and Dr. Stephen is saying, um, actually the combination of humility and courage, when it when they born the integrity, then they produce wisdom and a lot of other stuff as well. So one core value born the other so many sub values, and we need to learn all these things. So that's why these are very, very important. If somebody like to share any personal incident and story from their life, you're very welcome to share. When you think that due to humility fact, something happened amazingly, or something changed, or otherwise, I will wind up. I will close this session, because we have cleared it. Anybody wants to share? Let me see if somebody has sent me text message, because where is text message? Okay, here is. Okay, yeah. So I tell you one of the incident, a quick incident about humility. Um, when I was working in my university, couple of years ago. I was in an administrative position and in a role. My one of senior colleague, he always wanted to command me, um, even if he didn't had that authority. And as a junior, I had to follow him. However, for some reason, due to some paradigm shift, his life totally changed, and he becomes so humble, and actually he became true leader. The same person I was perceiving totally different. So all his arrogance converted into immense humility and down to earth nature. Even though he was still senior to me, he was never trying to command me, but just requesting me for something if he wants to do. And that later, when I become his senior with my promotion in my organization in the university, then I uh, exercise the same thing. That more I was becoming senior, I was exercising more humility, more down to earth, and that was leading me for further ranking, higher roles, higher position in my university organization. So, and the difference is very clear, whether you will be a ego person or a down to earth person, whether you will feel proud or pride on your labels, or you have a feeling you do not deserve because you want to improve more. That is a difference of both type of life. So one is a path of mediocrity and other is a path of greatness. One is a path of failure, the other is path of uh, uh, really greatness. So that's how we can improve our life and in the stuff. So if you like this video, I would request to subscribe the channel, or you can put the comment as well. You can share with your friends and family, because this channel will give you a very unique information, a different approach than other channels on the internet. So thank you very much for joining me. I will see you in our next slide on the topic of courage. Um, and the courage is so important. I will give you a great insight as well, and that courage, the core value, how it will help us, and what makes us more courageous and what make us cowardice, foolish in our life. So stay tuned with me. See you next week the same time, um, and thank you very much.